This is Birmingham News. Coming up, a Conservative Solihull councillor has been suspended by her party. We're going to be at the University of Wolverhampton finding out about new research into biodegradable plastic. And it's Hospice Care Week, and we hear about a scheme that's been backed by Ed Sheeran in Stalybridge. It's your news for Birmingham and the West Midlands. Hello again. A Conservative councillor has been suspended by her party over anti-Muslim retweets just 2 weeks after a colleague's suspension amid similar allegations. Margaret Bassett, who represents Solihull Council's Silhill ward, is being investigated after a complaint to the authority. The complaint was over retweets that included newspaper stories about crimes said to be committed by Muslims. Miss Bassett has been quoted as saying that the tweets were taken out of context. Staff at Sandwell and West Birmingham NHS Trusts have been asked to make a promise to speak up if they have any concerns and to do all they can to help the organisation and protect the public. Birmingham News spoke to one of the hospital's Speak Up Guardians to find out more.
In my experience, staff have various reasons why speaking up is hard to do. Sometimes it's previous experience of speaking up, sometimes it's confidence, sometimes it's knowing who they can speak up to, how to raise concerns. So as a trust, the trust has appointed 9 guardians last year, which is quite unique for this trust. And the guardians are a way in which that staff who have got concerns or may not know how to raise those concerns can approach those guardians to seek advice or support or signposting. The Guardians is one of many ways that you can raise concerns within the trust, and the Speak Up Day allowed that opportunity to raise awareness of the many different ways that staff can raise concerns and the importance of raising concerns and knowing that it should feel okay to raise concerns. So I guess what we would say is it isn't easy to raise concerns, depending on what that concern is, depending on your experience of raising concerns. But that as an organisation, we need to continue to create that culture whereby it is okay and it's seen as a positive activity.
An arsonist who set fire to a homeless man's tent has been jailed thanks to the help of a video. This is the moment the homeless man's tent was set on fire, but luckily he managed to escape. The images show 51-year-old Ian Gordon strolling up to the tent, which was pitched on a grass verge in Birmingham city centre, before starting a number of fires around it. Gordon was jailed for 6 years and 6 months and has had his licence period extended by 4 years. We go through millions of plastic bags and bottles each year, and with increasing pressures to try and cut down plastic waste, researchers at the University of Wolverhampton are working to create high-value items made from biodegradable plastic. Our reporter Olivia Marks has been to the university to find out how they make it and its potential uses.
We come across plastic every single day, from plastic bottles to bags, and we throw away more than 25 million tonnes of it a year. Only 10% of plastic is recyclable, but scientists at the University of Wolverhampton are working to change this. Researchers here in the lab are taking this waste plastic and turning it into this biodegradable plastic, which has a number of uses in medicine and agriculture.
We found that the human cells can actually grow on these polymers, so they're not toxic to human cells. So we produced different shapes and grown different types of cells on there.
The plastic waste is converted into a wax-like substance, turning it into a biodegradable form.
This is called the GPC. It's a gel permeation chromatography, and we use it to tell the difference between the plastics that we make. So we can tell whether they're larger or smaller molecules, and then we can see which ones are better for different applications. So some might be good for making plastic bags, some might be good for making like a plastic pen case.
But it's still early days in terms of research.
So now we need to find out all the optimization conditions, and we need to find the economics of it as well, because obviously it has to be economically valuable in order to proceed further.
The university is working in partnership with researchers from across Europe with the hope of transforming plastic waste into high-value materials. Olivia Marks, Birmingham News.
This week is Hospice Care Week, and it sees centres up and down the country celebrating the positive work that happens as people come to the end of their lives. In Stourbridge, the Mary Stevens Hospice has been raising awareness of some of their new schemes, one of which is a biographer's pilot. Coordinated by Dan Malin, it tells the story of those who've recently passed away via a video message. We spoke to Dan and also to Rachel Doyle, whose husband Aid passed away after receiving care at the centre.
We've recently been part of a pioneering project called the Hospice Biographers. So the Hospice Biographers exists to capture, in our case, patient life stories. So we offer, and I personally here do this, we offer the opportunity for patients to record their life story on tape. So that acts as an opportunity for them to get everything off their chest that they wanted to get off their chest, to tell the world certain things about themselves that people probably didn't know, and really leave a legacy for their children, the future generations, their friends, and ultimately as well, generations upon generations upon generations later, what we will now have and what patients will now be able to leave is that recorded history of who they were, what they achieved, what they're proud of, what they wanted to say to those people that they'll probably never meet. That scheme, as you've said, we're very fortunate that it's been backed by Ed Sheeran and David Suchet. So, I mean, for us, projects starting with a boost from people of that sort of profile, you can't put a value on the, the extra awareness that raises of what we're trying to do and what the Hospice Biographers exist to do, not just here, but nationwide.
I think it's an absolutely fantastic idea. I have got millions of photographs, and I've made photograph books and albums, etc. But the one thing I haven't got is many videos of Adrian talking, and actually that would have been fantastic. And I've often said I wished we'd had more videos, and I think that concept of the biography is amazing and will bring huge comfort to lots of bereaved families.
Thousands of people queued at the Bannister Centre for the opening of the new 93,000 square foot Debenhams store. As well as boosting business in the city centre, the three-storey Debenhams has created over 150 jobs in the area, and is all part of a £35 million development of the shopping centre. You're watching Birmingham News here on Made in Birmingham. Coming up a little later, it's our entertainment show, The Lowdown. Let's have a quick preview.
Join us here on The Lowdown very shortly, where on the show we have a very special guest, Jay the Sekou, the local vlogger, will be telling us all about his new vlogs, as well as a very special Black History Month one. We'll also have film connoisseur Carl Jones.
Then we have a scary moment when we find out what scary movie you liked or don't. Plus we also bear the new musical across the West Midlands.
So join me and the team very shortly.
Now, mental health is a subject that will affect many of us in some capacity throughout our lives. But this week, mental health is being given a huge push as awareness is raised with a day of help, advice and support. Aidan Atkins was out in Birmingham to find out how one push is helping to make a difference.
The 10th of October marked World Mental Health Day, and up and down the country support centres have been set up to help those in need, and in Birmingham that was no different. Held at the Mac in Cannon Hill Park, a variety of charities and support services were in attendance to offer advice and guidance. We spoke to Kay Higgins and Emma Hayes from Better Pathways to hear about the mental health first aid courses the charity are running.
We're here today obviously to promote mental health first aid, mainly today in the workplace, but throughout. We were presenting to employers and general public really to try and help to lift the stigma that's attached to mental health conditions, to help people to understand how we can support them in the workplace.
Well, there's a lot of misunderstanding about mental health and what mental health illness is and what mental ill health really is. So really the course is just designed to help reduce some of that stigma and discrimination, increase understanding, including of specific illnesses that people might come across and have that fear of how to approach the subject with someone, and then give them the skills that they need to be able to help someone in that situation in that time of crisis.
We also spoke to Helen Wadley, Chief Executive of Birmingham Mind, a mental health charity who raise awareness in the city regarding mental health issues.
I think certainly there is progress that's been made around challenging the stigma of mental health issues, and that's what stops people from speaking out really about their own issues. And so I think, that's really good, but we still have got a long, long way to go. I think mental health has never had a greater highlight, a spotlight on it than it has at the moment. This year, when we look at what the Princes have been doing and we look at the Time to Change campaigns and everything, mental health is really up there, and that's fantastic, and we need to really push forward on that and really actually just get everyone talking about how they feel about their mental health and about how to stay well and how to stay healthy.
It was a day of learning, laughter and most importantly reminding people that they are not alone in the battle. There was a thumbs up all round. This is Hayden Atkins for Birmingham News.
This is Birmingham News. Still to come, we'll be getting an update on the Monarch Airline situation where people are awaiting repatriation. And 10 years since Birmingham's Walk of Stars began. But who was the second one? Well, we'll find out, and we'll get the latest sport too after the break. Hello again and welcome back to Birmingham News. Attempts by the Civil Aviation Authority to get Brits stranded abroad repatriated is continuing. It's been a tricky couple of days for passengers due to a strike in France, but with the deadline of Sunday the 15th fast approaching, there needs to be a big push over the next few days to get people back home. With more, here's Hayden Atkins.
Efforts to bring home stranded British holidaymakers continues after the collapse of Monarch Airlines. Thursday marks day 11 of the flying programme launched by the Civil Aviation Authority, with 4,600 passengers scheduled to be brought back to the UK. 33 flights are planned on Thursday, but with Sunday's deadline edging ever closer and 20,000 passengers still to come back as of Wednesday, the CAA continues to work around the clock following the administration of the company. The CAA stepped in after all of Monarch's flights and holidays were cancelled, leasing and chartering planes from 16 different countries. The collapse of the 50-year-old company is the largest ever for a UK airline. KPMG, the administrators for the now defunct airline, have estimated that just 10 to 15% of Monarch customers have bookings protected by ATOL. The scheme only covers package holidays or Monarch flight-only bookings made before the 15th of December 2016. Those without ATOL protection will be forced to seek refunds from their credit or debit card supplier or through travel insurance. This is Hayden Atkins for Birmingham News.
And anyone looking for more information regarding the current situation surrounding Monarch Airlines can contact the Civil Aviation Authority on 0300 303 2800 from the UK. Alternatively, they can visit the website, which is www.monarch.caa.co.uk. Now, man's best friend, of course, we're talking about dogs. And at West Midland Police's dog training unit, they've had some rather magical new additions to the force. With more, it's back to Hayden Atkins.
Pause what you are doing because there are some new kids on the block at West Midlands Police. That's right, these pint-sized puppies have been named after Harry Potter stars, and Birmingham News went to meet them. Harry, Ginny, Albus and Hermione are all set for big police careers, and Dave Raymond, an instructor at West Midlands Police Dog Unit, told us what their futures hold and why they took on such magical names.
Harry Potter litter, we had a competition at Crufts this year to name our next litter, and we used to go alphabetical, but we decided to start using film titles. You've probably seen the Star Wars litter, and Harry Potter's litter was the most popular. So we've got our specialist dogs. You've got drugs dogs that are proactive, which is they'll search buildings, vehicles, they'll do routes. We have passive searching, which they'll scan the air around people, which you see at the concerts. We have got explosive detection dogs again. They will do vehicles. If you see a major event, the dogs probably would have searched it. And also we have got victim recovery dogs as well, which will search for missing people and also blood or human remains.
We also met Jennifer Lowe, a puppy carer who has taken home Albus Dumbledore, and she told us about the wonders of taking home such a magical dog.
So this is Albus, and he's 10 weeks old on Tuesday, and we've had him living with us now for about 3 weeks. So he's very lively, as you can see, and he's cute with his little old man face. We've previously had 2 German Shepherds, so this is the first time looking after a Spaniel, but it's a completely different thing. Oh, yeah, yes, you are. Yeah, because he's a lot more lively than the German Shepherds, but a lot smaller, but a lot more lively.
Whilst there's a certain quirk to these young stars right now, there's hope amongst the force that one day they'll be future stars in the police. But right now, they're more than content to play with their fellow wizarding friends, Expelliarmus. Hayden Atkins for Birmingham News.
And we'll have more from Hayden and the Dogs Unit in Friday evening's programme with the emotional story of a boy who's reunited with a long-lost friend. Don't miss it. This is Birmingham News. We'll be taking a look at the weather shortly, but first we're going to take a look at the latest sports news. Here's Sasha.
Thanks, Lee. The Birmingham Marathon is fast approaching, and today I spoke to a school teacher, Andy Craddock. He'll be taking part in the marathon in a sports wheelchair, even though he is able-bodied. Here's a truly inspiring story, and here's more about it.
Well, I did the Birmingham Half Marathon last year, and I propelled myself in a sports wheelchair, which was really difficult, but really enjoyable because, you know, it proved to me that regardless if you've got a disability or not, if you put your mind to it, you can do what you want. This year, through the generosity of RGK, I've got an all-terrain chair.
Andy Craddock has a hidden disability called mixed connective tissue disorder, meaning he suffers from nerve damage as well as muscle and joint pain.
It's an hidden disability. There's no cure, but I get on with it. And you know what inspires me is because obviously I work in a school. It's a mainstream school, all-inclusive school, Hall Green Secondary School. And you know we have a lot of students who are in wheelchairs, a lot of students that have different conditions, and every day to see them come to school and push themselves and get involved in the learning and be interactive with the mainstream students, you know, and this is what I love about this school is that, you know, everything works together in diversity, and you know, to me that's what we need in Birmingham. As I say, you know, there's no cure for my condition. It's hidden disability, and you know, my spine now, because it's crumbling. I was down to have spinal surgery, and we've put that off at the time because I'm not in. You know, I am having nerve damage down my left side, but I'm not in as much pain at the moment. So that's been put on hold for the time being. And with the idea of these anti-TNF drugs that were trying to control my disease, my disability, you know, I said, yeah, I'm going to do the Birmingham Half Marathon again. This year, I've got my son running alongside me, so he's there for extra support. And we thought, well, you know, I'm actually a granddad now as well. You know, my second grandchild's due in November, November the 20th. My first grandchild was, well, he's coming up to 2 years in November the 5th. And I thought, well, yeah, I'm going to do it again. And he's obsessed with Minions. So this year my son's going to run in his Minion onesie, and we've bought some Minion hats, and so people can recognise who we are. So hopefully people will be supporting us as we push and my son runs and saying, there goes Andy and there goes the Minions and there goes City of Birmingham Rockets, you know, and inspiring people to go out and push themselves or go out and believe they can achieve.
We'll be keeping our eyes peeled for Andy in his Minion hat on Sunday when I'll be joined by George Hancorn live from the marathon. And that's all from me with your sport. If you have a story, please get in touch by emailing sport@madeinbirmingham.tv.
Thanks very much indeed, Sasha. Now we'll be taking a look at another recipient of a star on Broad Street shortly, but first it's the weather forecast for the West Midlands.
Hello there. Across the UK, Friday will be mostly cloudy but dry with a chance of some brighter spells for some. Focusing in on the West Midlands though, that breeze up to around 19 miles per hour and very cloudy, possibly looking a little overcast, so not much chance of brighter spells some areas of the south may experience. Afternoon highs look to reach a milder temperatures of around 18 degrees Celsius or 64 degrees Fahrenheit. Similar conditions for the afternoon then, keeping pretty overcast, but we aren't expecting any rain. Then as we head into the evening, those highs again pretty mild overnight, so around 16 degrees Celsius. Staying cloudy overnight, then into Saturday morning, possibly a bit of a clearer start to the weekend. Still partly cloudy in places, but many brighter spells, and temperatures similar again, reaching highs of up to 20 degrees Celsius. Now, if you're a local photographer and would like to see your name and photo here in the forecast, then send your pictures to weather@madeinbirmingham.tv. The weather to expect then looking much milder for the next few days, with highs potentially reaching up to 21 degrees Celsius.
And finally, yesterday you might have seen that we looked back to the time when Ian Lavender from Dad's Army received his star on the Birmingham Walk of Stars. Well, we thought we'd take another look back to see who else we could find in the archives. And we've come up with another. It's Robert Davis from Acox Green. He became the second person to be immortalised on the Broad Street Walk of Stars just over 10 years ago, in 2007. The Lord Mayor of Birmingham, Councillor Randall Brew, presented the award. But it's not Robert Davis on the star. It is, of course, Jasper Carrott.
I was born, okay? And I have grown up, I have lived amongst everybody here for over 60 years. How many people can say they've got 1.5 million friends?
The Broad Street Walk of Stars honours notable people from the Birmingham area, or those who have made a valuable contribution to life in the city. The scheme is organised and funded by the Broad Street Business Improvement District. The first recipient to be honoured was rock legend Ozzy Osbourne in July 2007, and then of course Jasper Carrott a couple of months later. You've got to love Jasper Carrott. And so that's it for the moment from me and the team right here at Birmingham News. If you'd like to get in touch with us, as always, our email address is news@madeinbirmingham.tv. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye bye for now.